Y'all are like the last of this round, and you just got like one of my absolute favorites, the zebra, or in the UK they say zebra, as I'm learning. Zebra. Zebra energy is so stunning. So this to me equates to temperance, which is about balance and also, don't you know, seeing the gray in something, right? So it's not about things being black and white. The solution is often in the middle. So zebra energy is also very much used to represent counselors, therapists, healers, those in a position to hear both sides of something and help reach a point of resolution, right? Which is really great. That's why I love this energy so much. This is the energy of the mediator. So this is really brilliant. This is coming up for you. This is such a gentle, warm, beautiful energy to be working with you for the month of February. You know, speaking of which, we do have Mercury in retrograde and we also have Venus in retrograde. So our communication, the timings, it's interesting that we saw patience there in the meditation. All of that could be affected this month, communication within our interpersonal relationships as well. So the fact that you have the zebra here with you and that we saw the words patience, I think the more this month that you can embrace I'm getting something very specific. So I can't remember where I saw this, but I was seeing this as a tactic, a video somewhere, maybe on TikTok, I don't know, but a tactic within a meeting of the power of silence. And when someone says something that you don't agree with or that, is not aligned with how you feel or what you think, to take silence and just make eye contact with them with silence as opposed to reacting in the moment, especially during Venus and Mercury retrograde, as opposed to reacting in the moment. Taking that time of silence and giving you both a beat to kind of process what's being said before you take the time to respond to what you just heard. So you can filter through any immediate reactions that might be more emotion-based and come from a place of calm consideration where you can take that time to incorporate into your impending response their point of view. Okay? That feels like gold for you guys this month. All right. Let's see what's going on for my Cancerians. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, you don't say. It's the Knight of Swords. Why? It's the Knight of the blunt communication that's not always delivered with too much class or grace. And we're talking about communication here. So this is a big influx of communication messages, but this really has a blunt edge. Even though that's a sharp sword, it's a blunt edge, honey. And I feel like the fact that this is a rook, we have the rook here, two rooks here with the bird and the chess piece, is really commenting on you use your head, use your wisdom, and use your words wisely. I feel like that's beautiful advice, but I feel like those around you that may not be doing that so much, and therefore it's all the more reason for you to do so. Okay. Leading by example, right? Sometimes that's all we can do is just lead by example, right? But we're not always in a position to tell others what to do. Sometimes we just have to embody the better alternative and hope that others are inspired by our own example to do the same. Do you know what I mean? Right. So we have the Five of Wands here. So Wands rule the realm of the actions that we do or do not take. Five is a number of change. This is a situation. So Five of Wands is about conflict, competition, struggle, turmoil, right? This looks like a really terrible, uncomfortable time. And it's really interesting that we have the Knight of Swords, which is blunt communication, Mercury in retrograde, Venus in retrograde, all under the loving and accepting and temperate umbrella of the zebra. So I feel like anything that this can be internal as well. When this comes up for me, it can be definitely internal as well as external. But the Five of Wands, if there's anything in your energy this month, whether within and or around you, that feels like a struggle, it feels like the opposite of patience or understanding, you are absolutely, because remember, look at this. We got black and white, and then we have this white and black. You're being called to really take refuge in the gray. The truth, what's that Rumi quote? I'm going to butcher it, but here we go. There is a field out beyond right and wrong. I will meet you there. And it's kind of just saying, oh God, I really butchered that. Can someone leave that correct Rumi quote in the comments, please? And thank you. This is really saying embrace the gray, embrace the middle. that is where the, peace lies. Because it's not about feeding into that energy as it is feeding into that kind of conflict or, it's really about taking the other person's viewpoint or where they're coming from into account. Or if this is within yourself as well, as showing yourself some understanding and patience as well. If stark feelings or thoughts arise within you this month that are less than, love-based, approach those moments and those happenings from a place of curiosity and not judgment and see where you get with that, right? Knight of Cups here. This is really beautiful. Look at the sun peeking out the clouds. He's standing there by the rivers. So this is really beautiful. The Knight of Cups is allowing your feelings to inform you, right? But this is also about doing work that you love to do and allowing yourself to really get lost in activities and or people where you look up and the time has flown, because it really activates your emotional core with the Knight of Cups here. I'm really hearing, and again, it's this being still, right, with the sun and the chalice here. I'm really hearing to maybe spend a little more time with the people or the relationships or the activities that elicit happy or good feeling or balanced emotions within you. That does not mean hanging out with people who only tell you what you want to hear, but spending more time doing activities or hanging out with people that allow you room to be exactly who you are from a place of non-judgment and acceptance. That feels incredibly important. That is also the energy of the zebra, which is really lovely. Okay. Knight of Swords here. Let's go and get a clarifier. Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords. Ooh, I cannot tell you the number of times that this little girl has come up in these readings. Good Lord. Page of Cups. This is so beautiful to clarify the Knight of Swords, because remember how we were talking about, if there's communication that feels strained or a bit combative or a bit blunt, whether this is for you or interpersonal relationships or work, whatever have you, meeting that with curiosity and understanding and embracing the middle ground. And then we have the Page of Cups, which is such a sweet, sweet energy. But also, do you see this surge of wave here? It's about to crash down, right? Use Cancer signs being that water. And then we have this Page of Cups here who's just completely calm going, hey, would you like a fish? This is about where your point of focus is, right? Are you focused on the wave that's about, it's similar, Five of Cups, but Page of Cups is more about your interpersonal relationships and how that comes into play, right? So are you focused on the wave that's about to crash down? Or are you focused on this beautiful offering here in this cup? I do feel like you are being called to be the bigger person this month. In some way, shape, or form. You can do it. You can do it. It feels like there is another alternative that may not even be immediately apparent to you, that may come up in the silence or taking time to pause, reflect, and to measure your response over reaction. Five of Wands. Listen, what can I say? Relationships are going to be put through their paces this month, but we have the ability, the opportunity to work with it mindfully, using all of the tools at our disposal as opposed to it happening at us, right? Justice, here we go. Justice to clarify the Five of Wands. I absolutely love this. So Justice, this is beautiful Libra energy, but I want to draw your attention to these scales, right? And we're talking about seeing both sides of something and how the truth or the, answer lies somewhere in the middle. And then we have this sword of truth that she's holding up here, right? And says that in order to reach balance and fairness, we must first filter it through absolute truth. So I feel like this is the Five of Wands as well. I'm really hearing to, funnily enough, combat any internal or external tension or competitiveness or, fighting. With a certain balanced truth. Sometimes I want to say this to you because justice is very much about everything being fair and equal, right? Sometimes the best thing to do when we are experiencing tension or conflict is to trust that if we act within our own integrity as a response to it, that all will be fair in the end, that everything will work out in the end, right? I do feel like there's going to be factors in your environment that are a bit, tenuous this month in whatever shape or form that is. Again, this could be all about you, right? And you're being asked to kind of calm those waters within you going, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now. All is balanced. Let me cut to the truth of something and let me weigh up my heart on this scale and put my heart on one side and a feather on the other and see how heavy my heart is at the moment and how that may be contributing to my reaction at this time. That comes from Egyptian lore, by the way. I didn't just make that up. Where when you would die, in Egyptian lore, you would be presented with the scale. You put your heart on one side and a feather on the other. And if your heart was heavier than the feather, then I think you had to be recycled and you couldn't quite pass on through. So I'm feeling that as well as like a heart heaviness and kind of measuring up against this energy of the month with, okay, what do I have facility around? What do I have power around? What are the choices that I can make? And how can I promote my own heart health and wellness within my given circumstances and environment? Because I always have a choice and therefore I am always empowered through my choice-making ability, right? All right, let's go ahead and get a clarifier for this beautiful Knight of Cups here on this shiny horse. Clarifier for the Knight of Cups, the cups, the cups. Boom! Oh, I love it. Brilliant. Wheel of Fortune here. So is this... Okay, so you have two major arcana, well, including the zebra. You have three major arcanas. Temperance, which is about balance, patience, and timing. Inner and outer alignment. You have Justice, which is about fairness and equality and balance. And then you have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is an unexpected source of good luck. It's about the Wheel of Fortune of luck turning in your favor in a way that can come as a surprise as well. And then we have the Knight of Cups here as well. I do feel like it's interesting. I do feel like the choices that you make during this time, especially around opportunities for mediation or conflict resolution, have the opportunity to pay off for you on the other side of this month moving forward. There's something about the choices that you make. Either other people are going to notice them and recommend you for something like, oh, you really handled that client or patient well, or that situation well. I think you'd be a good fit over here. Or, hey, like you really impressed me with, you know, your response to that or your advice around that or that idea that you had. I'm going to recommend you for this. Or how would you feel about coming onto this? There's something about that where the actions that you do or the words that you choose or the time that you take to think through a response before reaction is going to pay off in a somewhat surprising way. But I'm really hearing for you guys because I'm going back to the King of Cups. The key for you guys this month is balanced emotions. If you're able to have balanced emotions, then your intuition can work for you as well. And it's that coming from a place of balanced emotions that not only allows us to respond and not react, but allows us to manifest our highest and best good, right? Because if our emotions are askew, then our intuition really can't inform us in any real way. But if we do the work, back to that beaver energy, if we do the work of that personal growth, that soul development of going within and really being our own best therapist and really walking ourselves through, you know, our choices and opportunity for choice from a place of curiosity and non-judgment and patience, then we are able to embody the highest and best version of ourselves. Now, not all the time. We're human beings, right? Fear gets the best of us. We have emotions. Things are weird, you know, all of the things that are rising and turning and happening. But if we can choose to be empowered around the choice and the, you know, options that we do have, right? Because we always have the choice to control our own selves, right? And I hate the word control, but you know what I mean. That's what we do have the power around, ourselves. So if you can really embody that, right? And have less focus on the things that you can't control and more focus on your own autonomy and what you do have control or facility around, that is going to lead to this wheel turning for you and linking you up with more emotional experiences or opportunities that really serve your emotional core, which is really, really beautiful. But you got this, Cancerians. You got this. You got this. Let's go ahead and get you an oracle. Oracle from my Cancers here. See what's going on. funny that Venus is going to be in retrograde for Valentine's, right? Ooh, stop. So we have Excalibur. So this says serenity, power, action, and truth. We were talking about power and what you do or don't do with the action and the truth and the sword of truth that Lady Justice is holding. So, and I love that this is coming out of the lake here, out of the water, out of the emotions with the clarity. And we're talking about communication and how you use your words well and wisely and what you choose to respond or react to and how you talk to yourself and all of this good stuff. And then we have Excalibur, truth, power, action. I feel like that's so amazing. You know, I feel like there's an aspect to this as well with the Excalibur, that there was an aspect of patience with that as well, with the whole sword and the stone thing and seeing like, you know, waiting for the chosen one to go pull it out of the stone as well. I'm seeing an image of you guys kind of walking around the stone and kind of like seeing your best options or your point of entry in. I do feel like your key here as well, just going back to the zebra energy and embracing the gray or the silver of the sword here, is really understanding that, you know, through an attitude of patience and sort of, what's that word that I'm looking for? Objectivity. You're placing yourself in a position of power and autonomy, right? But I'm hearing that it really has so much to do with communication for you guys this month, how you talk to yourself and how you communicate with others. It's about being responsible for the words that you choose and how you say them. Again, self-talk and how you talk to others as well. It feels incredibly important. I also feel like there's a certain release or a victory in speaking your truth in a way that may be difficult for either someone else to hear or for you to say. But sometimes Mercury in retrograde can also work in our favor with the communication and embolden us to speak on things that maybe we would be a bit shy around before, a bit reluctant to before. It's all in the name of love, right? It's all in the name of self-love or shared love, but this can be an opportunity for you to speak your truth in a way that is, you know, lovingly affected by the zebra energy. So you can speak the truth with love, right? With and for yourself and or to others in a way that empowers you and is for the highest and best good of all. Because speaking your truth is incredibly freeing and incredibly important. And when you have these influences working with you, especially lining you up with the Wheel of Fortune, I do feel like there's an aspect of the truth that is either asking to be revealed with and for yourself about you, right? Or with someone else in your, you know, outer reality that is going to free you up to move forward. Because I'm hearing the saying, the truth shall set you free. And I feel like that's what's coming up here for you. And back with the Justice and the Scale, the sword, and then the scale in your heart on one side and the feather on the other. The truth with the sword will set you free, set your heart free, and be a source of liberation for you as well. This has a lot to do with relationships, your relationship with yourself, with others, seeing the gray and seeing both sides of something and allowing the wheel to turn in your favor on the other side of, you know, practicing some good choice making and good judgment, right? All right, Cancers, you absolutely have this. With that being said, that was your February general reading.